This is my brand new 2024 Tesla Model 3 long range, which of course is the refresh model. And in today's video, I'm gonna go over why Tesla has ruined my car ownership experience. And it's not what you think, haters. So let me start off by saying this car is absolutely phenomenal. And compared to what's out there in its price range and just gas vehicles in general, this just blows them out of the water. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Jason and I do reviews on vehicles here in Canada. So if you are interested in that type of stuff, and also I go over the ownership experience of my new Model 3. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. Now, that being said, let's dive into the video and let me tell you why Tesla has ruined my car ownership experience. Well, starting with the obvious, that it's a full EV vehicle, of course. And now that I've had it for a couple of months, compared to a gas car, when I get into a gas car, it just feels so sluggish, so slow, and not as responsive. And even if I'm driving, like, let's say a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid in general, even that does not fully compare to a full EV. So that alone is a huge thing, because when I'm driving a vehicle, I want it to feel smooth, responsive, and not sluggish at all. Now, the next thing is, of course, the design. These were refreshed, as you've seen, and some people love them, like myself, and some people are not a fan of it. They love the older version and how it looked. I think the older version looked okay, not as great as this. It looked like a frog in my opinion, but I think this just looks so much more smoother, redefined, and sharper. And how this relates to my car ownership experience being ruined by Tesla is, well, this is a pretty nice design in my opinion, and obviously that's why I got the vehicle. Now, yes, there are other even gas cars, full EVs, hybrids, plug-in hybrids, whatever there is, they do have nice designs, but I think this just looks very clean, timeless, and just so classy in my opinion. Just the way that everything is designed, not on the exterior, even the interior, which I'm going to touch on, but just the overall look of this car. I don't know, every time I see it, it just puts a smile on my face and I just want to take it for a drive for whatever reason, even if I have to come up with an excuse to drive the vehicle. It's just so nice looking, and putting that together with how nice it drives, I think it's perfect. Now, another thing why it has ruined my car ownership experience is the space that this vehicle has. So let me show you in the back here, and I'm talking about the trunk and the front. So coming back here, opening this up, not only do you get space in this back here as your regular trunk, and yes, you do get this in gas vehicles, other EVs and whatnot. However, I think this is actually a very, very decent sized trunk, and you can fit a lot of things in here. You've even got like these pockets in both of the corners down here, and even the sub trunk down here. It is pretty decently sized compared to what's out there right now in terms of other vehicles. I don't think other vehicles compare to how much space you get as a sub trunk. Yes, you do get the regular trunk, but the sub trunk, and I'm going to show you the front as well, that's where this vehicle stands out. So let me close this. Let's head to the front. I am just going to open that from here. So open the front. Now let me show you what I am talking about. So let's pop this open and look. Which other EV can you tell me, or which other vehicle, can't say that about a gas vehicle for obvious reasons, but which other EV vehicle can you have this much space in the front? It's either you're getting no space in the front because of all of the electrical components that other manufacturers are hiding underneath here, or you get a very, very, very tiny spot to maybe put like a cell phone or not even a handbag. But in this, you can see you have a very, very generous amount of space in here. So that's another reason why this car has literally ruined my experience of owning any other brand or just any other EV in general. Just the way that this thing is designed, smoothness, and of course the space. And this is just the exterior that I'm talking about. Wait till I get inside, and I think that's just gonna blow everything else out of the water. So the next few things are pretty much on the inside of the vehicle. I've already touched on the exterior, so let me start off in the rear actually, and that's because you get the rear touchscreen. Compared to what is out there in comparison with this vehicle and price range and whatnot, I mean, if you have kids especially, they're gonna have a blast back here. Even adults and if you're going on long road trips, this is pretty beneficial just because your rear passengers are not going to be bored staring at the window. They can actually watch something here. But yeah, that's another thing added to the list. Now in the front is pretty much more reasons why my ownership experience has been ruined, and that's because of how the designing is. It's very, very minimal. There's obviously no buttons or nothing. It's just your big screen. A lot of people love this. A lot of people are not a fan of this. They rather have the hundreds of different touch buttons. I used to be one of those people where I rather have buttons to touch and see, but once I got the vehicle and I've kind of driven it for a couple of months now, when I go into a gas vehicle or any other vehicle that has the typical buttons, I just hate it now completely, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that because I own this vehicle. I just don't like having so much clutter everywhere. This is so clean and nice. Another big thing is the non-stocks that these things have. There's no indicator stock or high beam stock or wiper stock or any of that, as you may have known. But if you don't, yes, these cars do not have the stock that you have on typical cars here, and that is a huge thing because when I'm driving this vehicle compared to, let's say, a gas vehicle or any other vehicle that does have stocks, I'm always reaching on the steering wheel to press my indicators or high beams or wipers because I'm so used to the styling that they've done on these vehicles. And again, a lot of people hate this, a lot of people love this. Me, I do not mind this at all, obviously. Now you can get aftermarket stocks installed on even the Highlands, but I don't think that's worth it. You're just ruining the experience of the vehicle. But yeah, that's a huge thing because I'm so used to pressing the button on the steering wheel. It just completely confuses me, and I don't even want to drive any other vehicle because of that reason. Okay, another thing, which is a huge thing as well, just like the stocks here, is the indicators and also the cameras. And what I mean by this is, let's say if I'm going right, okay, I press the right turn signal and I have this pop up on the screen here, which shows me my blind spot. Now, when I'm in a vehicle that does not have this, it is so confusing and it feels like I forgot how to drive because of how simple Tesla has made this. I mean, you see all of your blind spots. I don't have to break my neck to look over, even though I still do it just in case. But yeah, like having this is so helpful. And even when I press the left one, it shows me the left one. And when I'm in a vehicle that doesn't have this, it just feels like I'm in such an outdated vehicle compared to this because I'm so used to having this and the cameras all around the vehicle. Like I literally don't even feel safe being in any other vehicle. And another thing, just like how when I press the indicators, it shows like the blind spot on the left or right. If I'm pressing the camera button here, this is on all the time when I'm driving. So in other vehicles, I think when you reach like 15 kilometers an hour, this automatically just shuts off and goes away. This doesn't matter. It stays on as long as you want it until you turn it off. And this is another huge thing. And it turns off only when I press it to turn it off. Other vehicles just do not compare to this. And until you don't experience this whole system and everything about just the Tesla software, you won't understand what I'm talking about. But when you do experience it, you get to drive it on like a daily basis, and then you go back into a normal vehicle, gas vehicle, or a vehicle in general that doesn't have all of this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Another thing is, because these vehicles don't have no digital cluster or heads-up display or any of that sort, you have everything on this massive touchscreen, which I like to call an iPad. And to me, Tesla is like an iPhone of cars, and every other vehicle is like the Android system, which is so like, it feels like outdated, old, sluggish, all of that stuff. That's how I look at Tesla when it comes to like how they compare with every other manufacturer out there. But even on this, like your software updates, which is a huge thing on these, like look at this. Just recently I had the update which it gave me the automatic emergency braking improvements. Which other vehicle is going to give you this stuff? And the update before that, I got all of this, which was like YouTube Music, Amazon Music, different games, parental controls, and just a whole bunch of different things. And now there's another update coming out where they're saying you're gonna have a power front. The updates on this is endless. I think since I've had this vehicle, I've probably had like 5 or 6, if not more, updates, which is crazy to me. Because on a gas vehicle, yes, you do get like those little updates that pop up on the screen maybe once in a while. But to get something like this, like for your automatic emergency braking, which improves it, I mean, come on. From what I've heard and what I've read and talking to others, even other EV vehicles, like non-Tesla ones, are not as advanced as how Tesla is. Just their whole UI system, it's like an ecosystem ecosystem to me. Like once you're in it, you're in it. Again, just like Apple, once you're sucked into Apple's ecosystem, it's so hard to go into a different ecosystem and pretty much do everything all over again and set it up to your liking and whatnot. So those were kind of some of the things that ruined my ownership experience when it comes to other vehicles, gas vehicles, EV vehicles. To me, I don't think anything kind of compares to these vehicles and just how they are. There's a lot of things that you would love about this, and if you're someone that is contemplating about getting either a Tesla or any other full EV, I highly recommend that you go and test drive one. Not just once. I don't think that really gives you a clear picture of how these cars are. Maybe go test drive it like 2-3 times and you'll kind of get the feel of it, and then go test drive a different brand, a full EV, and then you can kind of compare on how this vehicle is compared to the other one. And gas vehicles, forget about them. Those are just old dinosaurs. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch more things, but those things kind of stuck out to me when I transitioned from full gas to full EV. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what things for you ruined your experience of owning any other vehicle, and I'll see you guys on the next video.